Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Green-New Deal is estimated to cost $90 trillion, even after she cut the plans to attack air travel and cow flatulence. But she says she has a bold new way to fund all this pork. It's called modern monetary theory. It's not modern, and it will be a disaster. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner-Goldsmith for MRC TV, and now's our chance to look at the bold, supposedly new funding scheme for Ms. Ocasio-Cortez's new Soviet-style Green New Deal. It's called Modern Monetary Theory, or MMT, and it's not modern at all. In fact, it's the same inflationary madness that the United States government has engaged in for most of its existence, just with a new label attached. So, what's the plan? Well, it's a form of warmed-over Keynesianism, the idea of full employment from a so-called multiplying effect of government spending or via a government-granted monopoly bank that prints tons of money and hands it to politicians to spend on, yeah, you got it, pork. It's a reaction to the fact that politicians can't tax enough to pay for all their plans to curry favor, and that leaves them with two options. One, they can issue bonds, which have to be paid back, of course, later, or two, they can print money. And for this reason, most politicians control the currency and forbid you from using anything except the government-run cash. They also create government monopoly banks. They charter private banks that are granted a monopoly on printing cash, which conveniently allows the politicians to float bonds that bank will then buy with money that the bank creates, voila, out of thin air. It's all very bad mojo. It's based on what economists call fiat currency, or money that's mandated onto us by government fiat. Now, the result of this fiat currency is always the same. The government or its monopoly bank inflate the money supply, destroying the buying power of the cash in circulation, bidding up prices, inspiring reckless malinvestments due to artificially low interest rates, and of course causing artificial booms and busts that citizens see as destroying their livelihoods as prices rise far higher than the real values of the things that are out there. But Ocasio-Cortez loves the idea and based much of her concept on a November 2018 pitch from a Stony Brook University professor of public policy and economics named Stephanie Kelton, who wrote, get this, "We have the outline of a plan. We need a mass mobilization of people and resources, something not unlike the U.S. involvement in World War II or the Apollo moon missions, but even bigger. We must transform our energy system, transportation, housing, agriculture, and more." Is it any wonder why Ocasio-Cortez referred to climate change as our World War II? But Kelton continues, quote, "As a monopoly supplier of U.S. currency with full financial sovereignty, the federal government is not like a household or even a business. When Congress authorizes spending, it sets off a sequence of actions. Federal agencies, such as the Department of Defense or Department of Energy, enter into contracts and begin spending. As the checks go out, the government's bank, the Federal Reserve, clears the payments by crediting the seller's bank account with digital dollars. In other words, Congress can pass any budget it chooses, and our government already pays for everything by creating new money." That's really not smart, Professor Kelton. In fact, Kelton claims that this is how we paid for the first New Deal, when, as economists from Murray Rothbard to Robert Higgs to Tom Woods to Lawrence Reed to Bob Murphy have repeatedly said that the New Deal prolonged the Great Depression, siphoned cash away from productive ventures, created a vast pork crony system that we still have today, and wasn't really paid for because, of course, it was paid on the backs of future generations because the government kept borrowing. MMT is an absolute recipe for disaster. Indeed, by floating this idea, Ocasio-Cortez puts all of our savings at risk. But by floating this idea, she does give us an opportunity to learn from American history and to remind reporters what inflation actually is. Hey reporters, when you tell us that prices have gone up X% per year, that's not inflation. That's the result of the inflation of the money supply. Those are the price increases caused by the inflation of the money that is out there. More money bids up prices when it's artificially created by the government or a government-sanctioned bank. That's all there is to it. And every time you tell us about inflation, you get it wrong. Just like Ms. Ocasio-Cortez gets it wrong about economics. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and to tell your friends about us, everybody. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.